Benjamin Franklin was an American polymath who had a diverse set of interests. He was one of the founding fathers of United States, a drafter and signer of the Declaration of Independence and the first postmaster journal. He was a scientist, ambassador, philosopher, statesman, writer, businessman, and a celebrated free thinker and a wit. Franklin earned the title of the first American for his early and indefatigable campaignings for colonial unity, and as an author and spokesman in London for several colonies. As the first U.S. ambassador to France, he exemplified the emerging American nation. Franklin was foundational in defining the American ethos as a marriage of a partial value of thrift, hard work, education, community spirit, self-governing instruction institutions, and opposition to authoritarianism, both political and religious, with the scientific and tolerant value of the Enlightenment. He has contributed to many sectors, but I will discuss three of them. First, he proved that lightning was electricity. Second, invented biological glasses, clean burning stove, and charts of the Gulf Stream. Third, the theory about common cold being contagious. He wanted to demonstrate the electrical nature of lightning. To do so, he needed a thunderstorm. A simple kite made with a large silk handkerchief, a hemp string, and a silk string. He also had a house key, a Leyden jar. It is a device that could store an electrical charge for later use, and a sharp length of wire. His son William assisted him. Franklin realized the danger of using conductive rods and instead used the conductivity of a wet hemp string attached to kite. As a result, he was able to remain on the ground and let his kid fly the kite from the cover of shed close by. That enabled Franklin and his son to keep the silk string of the kite dry, insulated them, while the hemp string to the kite was allowed to get wet in the rain to provide conductivity. A house key was attached to the hemp string and connected to the Leyden jar. A silk string was attached to that. At this key, he changed files, and from the electrical fire thus obtained, he kindled spirits and performed all other electrical experiments which are usually exhibited by an excited globe or tube. His discoveries did lead to many advancements regarding electricity, the most famous invention being the lightning rod, used even today to prevent lightning caused fires. Gulf of Stream. He contributed to oceanography in the mid to late 1700s by making and compiling good observations of ocean currents off the US East Coast. He was particularly interested in the Gulf Stream, a fast-moving current of warm surface water that sweeps from Florida along the continental slope of the US East Coast and then bend eastwards across the North Atlantic all the way to Europe. Franklin was the first to refer to the Gulf Stream as a river in the ocean. As Deputy Postmaster General of the American Colonies, Franklin promoted using the Gulf Stream to speed up deliveries of mail from America to Europe as well as to improve other commercial shippings. The amount of water in the Gulf Stream is equal to almost 100 million cubic meter per second, which is nearly 100 times the combined flow of all the rivers in the earth. The speed of Gulf Stream can be as high as 5 knots. Now you can see why ships heading north and eastward across the North Atlantic try to stay in the current. It would nearly double their speed so they could complete their voyage more quickly. Good. Benjamin's letters are filled with comments on medical topics. He treated patients with electricity, and on one occasion his medical advice, contradicting that of a very distinguished physician, was credited with saving the life of patients. Among his other medical interests, Franklin was determined to disprove the old idea that cold weather could cause a cold. He and Pringle together commissioned the fatal psychological experiments of Dr. William Stark, who made various changes in his diet to see what its effect would have. Stark waited and measured everything he ate or drank, and would also weight himself by sitting on a large balance. Franklin persuaded Dr. Stark to weight himself for a period without his clothes and then for a period with his clothes. They discovered that he lost more weight naked than clothed, then undermining the entire basis for the idea that cold weather stopped us to pour of body, and the resulting blockage caused physical malfunctions. Franklin thought instead that cold was caused by fuzzy, corrupt air and animal substance, and the polarized matter from our bodies, which was forced out our body when conditions prevented evaporation. In other words, he believed that cold were contagious. Hence, it is clear that Benjamin Franklin has a great historical significance in the history of America. He not only played an influential role in the Revolutionary War era and the fight for American independence, but also helped to shape the US Constitution and visions for the new nation. He was a lifetime champion of First Amendment freedom, particularly freedom of press, so it is crystal clear that from science to politics he was a hero in every possible arena.